Do you ever just sit in your truck? So as some of you might remember, I was on my way to Gridlife and my truck got totaled. Unfortunately, I got rear-ended. That shoved me into a semi in front of me. And then the guy who rear-ended me took off. So it was a hit and run. It totaled my truck. I was immobile. I couldn't go anywhere. It was a huge bummer. I posted about it on Facebook, and luckily I have such a great friend network, and I was saved by a bunch of really, really great friends. You know, Savannah Little came, she brought her truck, she towed my trailer with my car in it to Gridlife, and then I was able to help get this sorted out with some other buddies that helped out. So George at GMG helped me fix it as well. Thank you, George. But basically we were stuck, and you know, I actually drove the truck back exactly like this from Georgia straight to Texas. I was not gonna let it sit there. Insurance, you know, is worthless on the weekends and everything was closed. So we ended up just kind of going and getting parts from the junkyard and just ratchet strapping and zip tying it back together. This is a intercooler from a 5.9. This is a radiator from O'Reilly's. The AC does not work anymore, and the rest of the stuff is just kind of cobbled together as best we could. But she made it back, and now insurance has taken a look at it and they have totaled it out. So very unfortunate, because I love this truck. This truck is my baby. I've had it for 10 plus years now, and it's been a workhorse. It's never let me down. It's been amazing. And really the packaging on it is what I love about it. It's a manual, 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive, so it's not 4-wheel drive, it's 2-wheel drive, which I prefer. A couple reasons. You might think I'm crazy, but it gets you better gas mileage. It drives much better because you don't have axles up front. You don't have a solid front axle. This has independent front suspension. You also get the benefit of the fuel economy savings, a little bit of less weight. And so, you know, overall for me, I don't need a 4-wheel drive truck. So this has been an amazing truck. And I was really sad to get the news that it was totaled. You know, the search went on. I had to find a new truck, and I have all these criteria that I really want to have. I want to have my truck back. I want to be able to tow plenty of weight, you know, behind me. A big trailer, 2-car trailer is ideal. And I want to be able to have that nice tight steering from the 2-wheel drive, because on the Dodge models, the 2-wheel drive gives you a steering rack up front. And so the steering rack is much better than a steering box style with the Pitman arm, and you know, that's more of like the old school style. That's how all the 4x4s are, and I hate that style because you get a lot of slop in the steering and stuff. I finally found a truck that was close. I did have to make some sacrifices, but here she is. This is my brand new truck. So it is a Cummins. I'm a big fan of the Cummins product. They are not just reliable and powerful, but they are, for me, easy to work on. You know, the Ford makes a great truck as well. Chevy, not so much, but we won't talk about that. But the Ford 6.7 is a V8, so it's a lot more complex. You know, it's much tighter in the engine bay, and so if something goes wrong, I won't have the capability or the tools to fix it. You know, a lot of those repairs require you pull the cab off, and I don't have a lift. I don't have, you know, big equipment that is able to do that. So an inline 6 is easier for me. Now, I did have to make some sacrifices. I looked far and wide for a stick. Manual 6-speed I prefer. For towing, it's much better. You know, if it was a daily driver, if I was driving it every day, I would hate that, which I'm not. So in that case, you know, I really want to have the control of a stick, but I could not find one. So it is an automatic, unfortunately. I got a pretty good deal on it, and the reason why we'll chat about here in a second. But basically, it is a 2-wheel drive. It's rear-wheel drive. I wanted a dually, and you can see that this one is a dually, so that means that I have an F16 over my head. So as you can see, it's a dually. Dually was cool because now I can tow even more weight and be a little safer, and that was something that I definitely wanted to upgrade to. Now that I am forced to get a new truck, you know, I wanted it to be at least a step up. So it is a newer model. It's a Gen 5, whereas my previous is a Gen 4. So just a couple updates on the interior, some of the suspension updates. The cab is bigger, so now if you're familiar with the trucks, you know, before the back, if you didn't have a mega cab, it was a little bit cramped, whereas now the interior or the cab of this one is nearly the size of the mega cab from the Gen 4. In back here, something I've never had before is the gooseneck ball, which is actually a hide ball, which is cool. It's got the wiring for it and everything. It's got a recently redone bed liner, which is nice. You get to throw some stuff in here, and of course the standard hitch as well, backup camera, all that sort of stuff. Now, some of the drawbacks of it is it's a 2013, and I learned after I bought it, this is all on me, but they switched to the steering box style front end. So now it's a solid axle regardless of being 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive, and it's a steering box, so it's not nearly as nice and tight of steering, which is unfortunate for me. It's an automatic, so I'm gonna have to worry about the automatic potentially going bad. You know, hopefully it lasts a little while. It's got 130,000 miles on it. It was in a dealership that was out in the middle of nowhere in Vernon, Texas, which I'd never even heard of, but I called on the phone, I negotiated a price, and I told them I'd have to fly in, so they were gonna pick me up from the airport. They said no problem, people do that all the time. I went and got a cashier's check from my bank, and it was for, you know, more money than I've ever spent at one time, I'd say, which was stressful for sure. But I had an insurance check that was covering most of it from my totaled truck before. I take them this cashier's check, and the moment I get to the dealership, which is about an hour away from the airport, which is near where I got the check, I took my backpack off and I put the check on the seat, and I was gonna take my jacket off, and right then and there, a huge gust of wind came and ripped the check out of the truck and literally blew it down and out of the truck. And I'm just like, oh shit. And the salesman's like, what the hell was that? And we just start running, and we're looking all over. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts that day in Vernon, Texas, out of nowhere. Took my check and ran. The check was gone. It was gone. I was looking all over the dealership. I'm in my nice clothes. I was crawling under 100 different trucks looking for it, hoping that it got pinned up against a tire or stuffed up under a bed or something. I ended up walking a mile down and back on the highway, on the side of the highway, looking at all the trash and stuff while the wind is blowing like crazy, trying to find this check like crazy. It was a nightmare, absolute disaster. I was intending to vlog and film this whole process, but when that happened, right when I got there, I just, you know, lost my mind and was completely stressed out. So I can laugh about it now because the guys at my bank were super nice. I called them up and said, hey, this is what happened. And they said, look, if you can get here in the next 30 minutes, then we'll cut you a new check. You know, we'll have to sign some stuff that says you genuinely lost it. And so anyway, I did all that. It was a pain in the ass, but I got it done. Fortunately, driving the truck home, the check engine light came on, and then I got a warning that said you have 200 miles to get to a dealership. Well, this is Saturday evening. Dealerships aren't open Saturday at the service department most of the time, at least after 3 o'clock, and certainly not on Sunday. And, you know, I'm driving from the middle of nowhere, Texas, all the way back to Austin. It was a 7-hour drive, and I knew I wasn't going to make it. So I had to stop off in Fort Worth. I got with some of my friends, and actually Ethan at Trackstar, who's helped me numerous times before, has some connections and was able to find me someone who was able to get everything kind of sorted out. We had some sensors to replace and some exhaust stuff to deal with, but now the truck's great. You know, overall, I'm definitely happy with the purchase. I'm looking forward to its inaugural journey on the highway. I haven't towed anything with it yet. I've just driven it back. But overall, really enjoy it, and I'm glad to say that I now have a truck, so life will be easier now and I can stop stressing about that. So for those of you that were following along with this journey and that, you know, were saddened by my misfortune of that idiot who rear-ended me, I appreciate your condolences, and now you can be happy to know that I've got a truck and I'll be able to travel around the country and hit more events and have a good time. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. So definitely stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and I'd love to continue updating you guys in the future.
Does it work?
I mean, no. Alright, and then hope that doesn't touch something bad. And then F1, kind of clean off.
Quick little reminder, this guy loves the Tesla truck, so he's so excited about building his own.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tesla doesn't come out for a few years, so figure in the meantime I'll learn how to modify them. This is totally a bad idea. I can't wait to do it.
I'm kind of scared.
So we've got the rear end up off the ground, just in case, who knows what's going to happen. This battery's probably charged. Put my safety squints on.
All right, let her in.
Right, I'm just going to touch it.
Nothing exploded.
Nothing happened.
So the battery is charged, right?
Yeah, so we've got power, so I'll just keep trying the touch wires thing.
Until you figure out what goes to what?
Well, until something makes a spark or makes a
boom.
I'm just waiting for something to blow up.
We don't have any gasoline, so we probably would just, at worst case, I think we'll let the magic smoke out, and then I'll know I need a new golf cart. Oh, okay,
we got something.
Something happened there. Safety glass is going on. Should film that.
Oh my god, that is like an actual, like...
That's icky.
Yeah, get that shit.
This thing's haunted.
Yeah.
This is cursed.
You have to set this thing on fire before we do anything with it.
That'll fix it.
Explain what we've done here.
So basically, we've jacked up the rear. Since the rear wheels are locked up, we have put a Red Rider, or what's left of a Red Rider, underneath the tow thingy. And now we're going to do some ye old boys engineering solutions. I don't know if I can push it. My job is to keep this from collapsing on itself.
It's working, question mark?
It's terrible.
Those little Red Rider wheels aren't really rolling. But this is working.
This is not going anywhere.
I guess we'll hook it back to my truck and just
Drag it.
Drag it.
Yeah.
The truck.
Although I don't even know if my truck will now hook to it, like, because I can't drive it around it. Let's use the mini slam.
Okay, we're gonna have to hook it up to the front though, because there's no tow hook in the back.
Okay.
So currently, we're getting the minivan turned around
That's right.
to get the front
This
tow
is going to
hook.
be our tow vehicle. We're going to drag it backwards, huh?
Move it.
Just,
Away.
yeah.
This is some real engineering shit. The tow. Let's see this. Okay, we got.
Steering backwards while riding. The back start rolling? Nope, not yet.
No. The fact this is working so well though is very A, surprising, B, awesome. We've done it. We've done the impossible.
Dial.
Any words of encouragement or wisdom? Just anything.
If you're looking to buy a car, always buy a Honda Odyssey. Do not buy anything else ever. They're the best cars ever. So,
He's correct. That is actual information.
Honda Odyssey is the greatest vehicle ever.